Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Steve and Dan Show. This is my co-host Steve next to me. I'm not going to point because I normally get it wrong. Yeah, that's the one. And we are joined today by Karolina, who is below us right there. Thank you for coming on the show. Quick intro for anyone who's never seen this before and this is the first time watching. My name's Dan Holloway. I come from a background in corporate software sales before I started in online business. September 2016, I was working about 70 hours per week, corporate software sales, and feeling pretty unfulfilled. It was basically just trading time for money, was earning good money, but my realization was that any income goal that I'd had in the past, whether 30K, 50K, 100K, whatever, as soon as I'd hit that goal, nothing would really change. So why did I think that an even bigger goal in the future was going to bring me anything different? And that light bulb moment was the turning point that made me realize I needed to find a different path. That's when I discovered this whole thing called digital marketing and online business and using leverage and automation and all these wonderful things to create a life of freedom. Steve, would you like to give us, please, a quick overview of yourself for anyone watching for the first time who has no idea who you are?
Absolutely. I am Mr. Awesome in my world.
Mr. Awesome.
Mr. Awesome, yeah. Husband, father, entrepreneur. I've started and grown several businesses over the years. I love doing that. I love the challenge. I love bringing quality service and product to the world. And excuse me, I love that challenge that goes with it, bringing something out of nothing and making it a reality. And I've always thought that that would be the best way for me to have the freedom that I want, to be able to do the traveling that I want, be able to spend the time with my family the way I want, as opposed to going down sort of the more traditional route of having a job and working for somebody else. Well, it did in some ways, and it didn't in some very other major ways. I was able to provide nice income for my family, but the harder I worked, the more income I made and the less time I had with my family. So it was a double-edged sword. I felt like my clients were controlling my life instead of me controlling it. So I looked for a different path, and I came across this online marketing world, and it clicked with me. And in particular, this community clicked with me. The perspective, the people, and here I am today. It's been a fantastic journey. So Karolina, Dan and I give pretty short descriptions of our history because we're on here all the time. Can you give us a little bit of your background, who you are, where you're from, life experience, if you will?
Okay. So I'm from Poland. I lived in UK 12 years and now actually I'm on my new journey. So at this moment I'm in Cyprus and next month I'm gonna go to Thailand and then let's see, it's just basically, we'll see what will happen. So at this moment, I'm just really training myself, going with flow, surrendering, trusting, and, basically allowing to unfold things for me. So a bit about me. So at this moment, I am into healing because I've gone through tremendous healing journey myself. And now I'm super inspired to actually give back and really inspire people to heal their lives, heal their bodies, because we unconsciously, we have so many traumas, we have so many trapped emotions and lots of blockages. And when you actually truly starting this self-healing journey, things are happening, amazing things happening for you, because you really, it's very liberating feeling and you're really getting into your power. So now my really inspiration is to help people to get into their power. But how I get there, so I'm going to tell you a bit about myself. So I had a very challenging childhood because my father was an alcoholic and he was very abusive. So I was abused pretty on daily basis, emotionally, physically, and also sexually, not every day, but emotionally and physically for sure. Some days were basically miracles to survive next day. So therefore, lots of depressions, anxiety when I was like a teenage, and one day, basically, I've decided to change my life. So I packed my suitcase and I traveled to UK, there was no English. So of course there was another challenges because if you imagine how you can express yourself, So new challenges, new job, which I wasn't ready for this, because I had lots of issues myself in terms of like broken heart, new in the country with one language, not knowing anything. And I work with people who suffers from the dementia. So they were was very challenging job, emotional and physical. For me, this was another challenge, internal challenge, because I'm supposed to change my life. And here you go, abuse again. Words, of course, it was lots of internal work on myself, that they are just ill people and so on. So lots of things was happening. Of course, then I made my life in UK. I met a wonderful people. I started studying accountancy. Actually, I already was studying in Poland, but of course I stopped and I came to UK. So I said, I'm gonna just continue this journey and see how I'm doing in English. So this was my new journey, going into accountancy. And then things changed, completely changed when I lost my brother. My brother committed suicide, and this was one of the most difficult time in my life, because all the mixed emotion, the grief was horrendous. Feeling like I didn't lose only brother, but also my child, because I was like really mothering him because of the situation we had at home. So this really put me a lot into spirituality and personal growth. Like I was so much in pain. I felt like I died on so many levels that I was seeking some release or some ease, basically. And this is how I started my really self-discovering journey, the spirituality and personal growth. And I was failing my last exams of accountancy, and I was like, what is happening now? I've gone through so many things and I passed this exam, the last I couldn't pass. I stopped enjoying my accountancy job. I felt like my soul, because of course I was really growing, I was going within, and suddenly I saw that accountancy is completely not me. So of course then big realization, and I was studying so many years accountancy, many years of experience, and now what? Here you go. So I felt like I had 100 doors to open, because I had to seek what's now. So yeah, this was my amazing journey of personal growth, basically, and self-discovery. And I was attending different courses, different workshops, different different things, basically. And then I had this calling already. I felt like there is a calling of coaching, teaching. I didn't know where was this going. I knew that this my doors are narrowing. I felt like I have only 20 doors to open, but I knew I'm going somewhere there. And so basically I just, and probably we're gonna talk about this. So one night, basically I was just listening to something, I even don't know what. And I just heard that if you want to change my life, and I was at this moment, I said, I'm changing my life. I am going downstream now, no more upstream. I have enough, thank you very much. And so, of course, this is how I came across SFM. And this was another journey. As soon as I joined SFM, suddenly I realized, oh, I have to grow so much more yet. Oh my God, I felt like I am 5 years baby. And I'm like, even changing the mindset of not being employee, just like being my own boss and really own it. And suddenly I said, I need to grow more. So actually I took a few months of like a break, and I was just really focusing on myself, on my self-healing journey still, of growth. And thanks to this amazing community, and especially few people really kick my ass. And it's like, why I'm denying this? I should be doing, I know I should be doing, just helping people, what I've experienced. And this really shifted me. Now I'm just taking this as a gift. Like really, I'm thanking my father for this, because I can relate to so many situations, and I can see constantly how much value I can give people on my session. And like, stop denying, just, let's leave it this BS and go into this. So this is how I started building actually my own business as well, along with SFM. And here go I am. So I'm on another amazing journey. Actually, I quit my job last year, December. And so now I'm on this journey, like really taking this, my healing coaching business to the next level. So yeah, and just inspire people to really take this beautiful self-healing journey and really get into their powers, because when you really do it on much deeper level, just is I think it's nothing better you can experience in your life. So this is where I am at. Any questions?
That's amazing. What an incredible story. And the thing that stuck out to me the most is when you said you thanked your father. Being able to make that mental shift is so huge. That takes such determination on personal growth and letting go to get to the point where you can not just move past, not just forgive, but thank. Having been in the situations that you were in, and to get all the way to that point, I want to make sure that doesn't get lost on anybody that's watching this. That's such an incredible journey. It's credit to you for doing the work and knowing that there's something better out there, and moving through that process. Every time you came up against a challenge, you kept going. You came across another challenge, you kept going. You knew there was something better. And then turning all of it into this gift that you have now, that you've been given, of helping other people. That is amazing and incredibly inspiring.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, 100%. And you're have you been to Unleash the Power Within, by the way? Tony Robbins.
Me or her?
Karolina. No. There's so much of Tony Robbins in what you say. Like, I'm a big fan of Tony Robbins, and I follow a lot of what he teaches as well. And like Steve says, the biggest thing that stood out for me was when you said you're thankful for your father. And that's one of the main things that Tony teaches is, like, if you're going to blame someone for all the bad, you've got to blame them for all the good as well, because they've shaped everything about a perspective. And like for yourself, that those experiences at the time, obviously horrible to go through, but they, like you said, they've given you that perspective to be able to have a much deeper understanding of other people as well, which in turn has given you, the coaching business and a passion and a real purpose behind doing what you do to help other people. And that 100% shows in your perspective, Karolina. So thank you for sharing that story with us as well. So I want to ask you about, there's two different routes I want to go here. I'm going to go this way first. So number one, the person watching who is currently going through let's call it a terrible time. And obviously it's all about perspective, good and bad. I believe it's always a perspective, but say they're going through a very difficult time at the moment. What advice would you give to someone who is currently in that situation, given your experience?
This is you can't give one tip, because one thing is that everyone is different.
Yeah.
So like I see on sessions that, what works for one person, it doesn't necessarily work on another person. But like what changed my life, and when I'm working with people, so first of all, what I'm trying to help them or guide them how to reconnect with their soul and body. Because people, when they are really low, when they have depression, anxieties, fears, all these illnesses or mental illnesses, is because you are so disconnected. Generally, people are so disconnected. We are so here. But the ego, the mental, the masculine energy just going for another goal, another things. We are so disconnected from our soul and heart, and actually from our body. And when you start really connecting with truly on soul, with your soul and your body, this is when you start healing. This is really when you start really shifting and transforming. This is what happened to me, and this is every time when I'm doing session and working with people, I see like, wow, it's like the transformation for me is really happening here. Of course, the mindset is important, but when you're really shifting and connecting, this goes automatically. So for me, it would be like, of course, it's not like, okay, just one tip. You really need to go within. This is what my would be advice. And of course, when you are down, I know because I've been there, and how hard is to see any light in the tunnel. How hard it seems like it will never change. But of course, it will change. But it requires the willingness to really work on yourself, and of course support. But if I would advise someone, it's always like meditation, and it's not even meditation, just sitting like a monk, because people think that this is the meditation and that's why they are not doing it, because of course it's the fear again of change or many things, you know. People generally are scared of change. This is what I see as well, like daily basis. But when you quiet this ego, this chatter, and really going within, this is you really see who you truly are. You really see this beautiful soul who's got so much potential, so much love, so much everything, you know, and suddenly there's clarity who you are and who you want to become. And basically there's just the process of taking these layers, these blockages, this everything, all these experiences, these traumas, like, you know, like I've gone through or people are going through. And basically when you're taking these things, it's like a fog. Suddenly you see everything and you see who you are. But it's a journey. It's nothing like you just doing one thing. Is a journey. It's a journey, but going within, really reconnecting yourself with your soul and body. And transformation is just happening. And watching yourself, where are you? Are you in the past or future? Because, or are you here or here? Because when you're depressed or when you're going through tough time, you're either in the future, so you're just worrying, oh my God, what's gonna happen next month? What's gonna happen next week? What's gonna happen tomorrow? Or you just past, like, oh, he said this, he did that, oh my God, or maybe I did. There's lots of blame, shame, guilt. This is the lowest energy. So of course it's really pulling you down. It's really holding you back from really being happy and creating beautiful relationship or thriving the business and so on. So definitely it's being observer, like where I am. I'm in my head or I'm in my heart. I am in the future or in my past. Because really what constantly you want to pull yourself now. Present.
Power of now.
Yeah. Be here now, for sure. That's great advice. And I'm wondering if you can take us, kind of tie some pieces together for us about your journey. Obviously, you know, you haven't been doing this kind of coaching the entire time. So how is that connected to when you looked at accountancy and decided, oh my gosh, I've wasted all this time. This isn't me. I can't do this for 20 years. And then, you know, how does that fit in with finding the SFM, with developing your business? What's kind of the time frame and connection of all of those three pieces?
So, yeah, because, you know, like I was disconnected. I was not connected with my soul at all because my experience didn't allow to me. So my life was constantly surviving. I was on surviving mode. At home, every minute it was surviving. There was no safety. You know, even during night, I didn't sleep properly for over 20 years until like really after a few years in England, because my father could do anything to you, you know, anytime. So I was constantly like, you know, you have the head above the water. You just constantly like surviving mode. There was no me time. There was no time for who I am, thinking who I am, or like whatever, like connect. I didn't even know what it is. It was, for me, it was survive. And then of course, when I came to England, you know, no English, no support, no one cares if I have for bread, for rent or whatever. It was my own journey. And of course, still with this baggage of helping my brother, helping my family, and constantly battling with these things, you know, also internally. You know, it's not like you move the country and like, oh, now I'm free, no problems. All this stuff is in you. So of course, there was also a journey on so many levels. Then, I mean, of course, because actually I've lost three people at the same time. So I've lost first my father, then I've lost my beloved granny. She was the best friend. And just 2 weeks after her, my brother committed suicide. So it was all together. Like I didn't even like overcome my father doing all these things, and then my granny. And then of course my brother was like the biggest hit. And once of course I was grieving a lot. It was like, I just don't wish anyone what I went through this grieving period. But at the same time, for me, when I'm looking back, it was wake-up call. For me, this was really wake-up call. And suddenly, I had time for myself, because I didn't was battling, and on this, I could actually now have time for myself, because I didn't need to deal with my brother's problems, my father's. It's all like, wow, this is just me. And now what? Of course, there was lots of pain. But at the same time, I can focus now on me, first time in my life. And this is like when I said, you know what, I just finally first time want to feel happy, the lightness in my heart. I just don't even know what that means really. And I was just, actually, when I put this out there, like 2 weeks later, I found my first spiritual teacher, and she helped me to reconnect with my soul. And when I started, the more I was connecting with my soul and who I am, I was like, I'm not accountant at all. And that's why I was starting failing this exam one by one. I couldn't get through. When I was opening these books, like I wanted to, like, I was sick basically. It's like my heart was like for something. And I started awakening basically, because I started being reconnected with who truly I am, you know. And then I saw like, I was more intuitive, and I am more intuitive now, that, you know, you suddenly feel like your body, like the theta healing, basically what I'm doing, the energy healing, like there was a called a pool. I just like, I saw this and you had huge pool, you just need to go there. I didn't have clue what is that. And it was like, my even friends told me, so what, you're going for course, you paid and you don't know what is this? I was like, no, I just basically, I started surrounding and listening, and I'm like, I'm connected, and just guide me, like the spirit, the higher self, however you call it, angel, just guide me, what I'm supposed to do in this life. And I ended up in this classroom, and I felt immediately that I'm home. Like I've done this for my life. And even like after the first session I had with Guy, and he said, how long you have been doing this? And I'm like, this is my first time. I thought that you just need to be born with this or whatever. And he said, no, my God, I thought that you've been doing this for years. And this is how I found like, oh, and I got more and more feedbacks about this. And so suddenly I started really listening and asking, guide me, and being open and allowing. And this is how I found this kind of journey. There's a, okay, this is what I need to do. And of course, SFM just kicked my ass. Like, stop this BS, just do it. This is what you're supposed to do. So they really pushed me. I mean, so yeah, this is how, I don't know if there is anything else you want to ask me, but this is how I end up doing what I'm doing. And yeah, I am so grateful with this also SFM journey, because it's not all about affiliate marketing, but it's about the really supporting community and coaches and the trainings. It really helped me. Like, it just like really, I had many breakthroughs. One of them was on the Black Retreat, but also with some coaches. And you know what? Because I never had anyone who supported me. My journey was only that I was on my own. Like all my life, I had to take care of myself, survive, whatever I need to do was on my own. I never had something like a crowd or father, yes, do it, this or whatever. And this was one of my breakthroughs with SFM, that suddenly you see so many people around you, where you just reach out, you just say a question, and there's like so many people to help you. It's like, wow, this was so new for me. And I can see the power of collaboration, the power of when you have supportive communities, amazing. This is where, for me, the breakthroughs are happening, and those miracles, the small miracles are happening nearly every day. And also the belief that when I saw in some coaches how much they believe in me, they saw in me this long time before I saw what they saw, basically. And when I saw in their eyes, truly like, come on, Karolina, just bloody hell, stop denying, just do it, like this belief you can do it. This really waked me up as well. So another kick, like, if I'm not doing for myself, at least I'm not gonna do for this person. So again, for me, because I never had this support, I never had that someone who was behind me and believing, like, normally you have parents. For me, it was like this community and coaches, some coaches, some people, not only coaches, but some members, when I had basically weekly calls with them, and they really helped me. Like, I saw they believe in me, and I'm like, okay, I'm not doing it for myself, I'm doing it for you. But then, of course, I'm doing it for myself. But this was like a big realization for me, that just like, stop this BS and move on.
Karolina,
Awesome.
I think you have more of a, let's call it a journey of purpose ahead of you than probably anyone else that we've had on this show by a long way. Like, your purpose is very pure, is very inspiring. And the question that I have in my mind at the moment is, how do you see SFM aligning with your journey of purpose? Because you know where you're going, like, you have that guiding light, whatever you want to call it. How does SFM fit into that for you?
For me, it's all aligned, because like, for me, what is purpose is helping people to connect them with their soul and spirit, however they call spiritual heart and body. And with SFM, we are also waking up people that life is not really going from 9 to 5 and just being like a robot, you know, like on autopilot, you know, and basically don't do anything with your life. It's just listen, boss, go home, do the normal shopping, whatever, and that's it. But life is so much more, and it's all about really getting into your power. All of us have missions. All of us have some purpose. It doesn't need to be like, some people, of course, they are famous speakers and those amazing coaches, but sometimes it's very simple. You can be just a mother, and this is your lesson. This is your purpose, to be amazing mother for your kids. But you need to realize this. And some people I see, like, especially I can see mothers, like, I don't know, because it's probably the society pressure that you need to be mother, businesswoman, this and this and this. And sometimes it's very simple. You just need to be father, the best father you can possibly be for your family. That's it. Could be your mission. You don't need to be great speaker or whatever it is, but it's very easy to be caught up in this society thinking, the pressure, and it's very tiring. It's very here energy, not here.
Yeah, definitely. That the societal pressure is really huge, and I can imagine it's much more for women. Not that men don't have societal pressure, but I can imagine it being much more for women. Just, you know, being married, having a daughter, and seeing how they react to issues in the world. I do not wish to trade places in that respect. I'm all good here with my easier path, so to speak. How do you see, so there are going to be people watching this who are kind of in a similar position, in that they might be interested in becoming part of the SFM. They might be part of the SFM, but they're probably not going to be interested necessarily in the affiliate marketing piece of it. They might have an existing business, an idea for a business, a product, something like that they want to do. Can you speak a little bit about how that connects, how the SFM connects with a business that is not the SFM? And the reason why I bring that up is a lot of what gets talked about is the affiliate marketing piece, which is a big piece. It's a great opportunity. You know, there's all kinds of wonderful things around that. So I'm not discounting that, but there are a fair number of people like yourself that come into this with either an existing business, an idea for business, and develop that and grow that. But it's not really showcased in the community very much, because they're not on the webinars about, you know, mindset and that sort of thing. They're not showcased as much because they're a separate business in the affiliate marketing. So if you can talk about the connection, the things that SFM has helped you with, obviously the community, that always comes up, that's huge. But any other things that might have helped you along that path?
For me, it's just basically the trainings, of course, which they are available there, but also the mindset and being inspired by other people. So for me, this was like, wow, I can, you know, like, you don't need only selling someone's product or services. Actually, I can do it, my own services and my own products. So then, you know, like, for me, it was like an awakening. And I can see with other people as well. Actually, I'm working with someone as well, which we actually started on limiting beliefs. We started on blockages, overwhelm, and all this out. And after 3 months of working with him, he had some idea and he started awakening. I said, so do it along with SFM. What SFM is doing, you can do it the same, you know, like, it does, you know, you can do both. Nothing is stopping you. So for me, SFM is like, really kick your ass to, not necessarily you can, one thing, you can selling date product, and it's amazing opportunity, absolutely. There is everything ready for you, all the platform trainings and everything, whole community, supportive community. But also for me was the training, the coaching. It helps you to bring out all of it, what is like, they see what you can do, to be honest, and they are helping you with this journey, how to build your business, basically. Or if you need any help, you can always reach out and they say, you do this. Or basically, I had few amazing coaching on basically on marketing. How can I now my healing coaching business take to the next level? So of course they are supporting you, not only affiliate marketing, but they are also supporting on your own journey. So I am supported on both paths, you know. So this is how, yeah, what I can say.
That's great. Yeah, there's So the obviously the mindset stuff is very important. Community and tools and training are all there. But I keep hearing you talk about support, community support.
Yeah, it is. It is. Because I think like sometimes, we doubting ourselves, like maybe you are good at something, or you have like, you already yourself doing some, both of you actually. So you may have some ideas, but like if you don't have this experience, like I didn't have at all. So this is for me completely new. So there's many people where maybe they are skilled or they've always been like employee. So now they need this mental, emotional support, but also the trainings and everything to help them to go, okay, you can do this as well. You can start your own journey as well. So that's what I'm saying is the emotional, the mental, the whatever, many ways, support that, it helps you go and do it because you are great at certain things,
Yeah, definitely. And with that in mind, that support and having that community behind you, I know for so many people, it's such a big part of the journey because, like, I mean, you mentioned repeatedly about the mindset stuff and being disconnected, of course, from your body and your soul and all of that aspect. It's so important to have that alignment. And I know for you, it's a massive part of your journey. But what would you say? So for people who are, I'm trying to think how to word this question. For people who are starting out, coming at it from a more of a spiritual angle as opposed to like a tactical angle, what do you see are the biggest blockages that people have, the biggest things that hold people back? Like what are those challenges that you see are very common themes that stop people in their tracks in the early stages?
Is the limiting beliefs that when you are coach and healer, or especially healer or the spiritual person, you need to be poor, probably even not charge for services. You can't earn a lot of money. I see this pattern. So basically, and to be honest, even me, I had to work a lot on my blockages in terms of money. But like I said, the limiting beliefs comes from many things. It's the land, it's the religion, it's of course you're bringing up media. There are many things, but definitely there's lots of, I think, the spiritual world, lots of blockages on, okay, this is my purpose, helping or healing or whatever. Therefore, how can I go and do affiliate marketing, which is not aligned with this? How can I earn a lot of money? Like I should be doing, really for free, and then starving basically. So there's lots of stuff, and I am just even have this healing community, and I can see all of us working on that basically. So definitely you can see the challenge when these people coming from this kind of field, they said, how this is going to align with my soul? Yeah, so there's those kind of blockages, or like, how can I have a lot of money? I need to keep, like poor, because I am serving, but it's a lot, it's limiting belief basically, which you can easily overcome. You can work with someone and overcome. I can see this constantly, and with my colleagues as well, we work on that. I work on myself as well with this. So yeah, this is just the blockage. Like again, a mindset needs to change, but also the deeper blockages maybe, which is associated with this kind of stuff.
So talking about those blockages, limiting beliefs, things like that, obviously people can come and work with you to help move past those things. You do not have the bandwidth to help everybody in this world. There's not enough of you to go around.
No.
What sort of things, for whatever reason somebody doesn't have access to you, is there, what path would you recommend somebody go down if they want to heal, eliminate these blockages? Are there other resources out there other than you? Can they read a book? Is there an exercise that you put people through? Without, I know we can't do a therapy session here. That's not what I'm asking, but are there general principles? Is there something that somebody could do to get the ball rolling for themselves before they can talk with you?
I would say definitely meditation. I mean, well, I mean, of course, there's lots of tools, but I'm because I've gone through, like, I can tell you, like, from my experience and what I see on people, all these personal development courses are amazing because I see how I was growing. But when I actually started really digging deep on soul level, on subconscious level, in like few months, I was like, phew. And I could see on so many people, like even in my basically surrounding, it was like a shoot. The reason is that lots of these books when you're reading is all about here, like mindset. And for me, this is my opinion only, the true transformation is happening when the stuff is going on here. Because when you're working in here, it's like you don't see really what are the blockages. And I'm telling you the reason why, because every time people was coming to me, it's like I'm struggling with relationship, or I'm struggling with money, or I have some health issues. And we start digging, okay, mother, father, maybe some problems or some trap emotions, blah, blah, blah. But we are going sometimes, we're discovering some like things which you never, ever even think. You would never even discover because it's so deep on soul level. What you can do, definitely meditation. Meditation, the reason why, because it's helping you to connect with your soul. So it's again about reconnecting you with your soul, because then you actually, when you see who you truly are here and you feel it, then you're starting shifting your mindset automatically, because those BS just going slowly. And one of the really amazing, when you have lots of fears, or when you, let's say, we all have some kind of traumas. Let's say, I don't know, your father was too controlling, or there was some rules, and you know, you have this kind of, if something similar happening in your life, your boss calling you, come to office, and you have this kind of things, or just basically lots of fears or whatever. What is really good to do, just really meditate, quiet this chatter, because of course, ego, we love ego, of course we need this, but in this situation, it's not helping us. So we really need to basically turn down this radio and really connect with your soul, with your body, and just observe. Because all these emotions, these blockages, these trap emotions, these trap traumas, fears are in our body. And you will feel, some people are feeling like they can't speak, some people cannot breathe, some people feel in your stomach that, you know, like they just like feeling like they are sick. So of course, all these things are in your body. So what is really powerful, just sit and observe. No pushing, no releasing, no fixing. Just sit and watch, just basically close your eyes, tune into yourself, and watch where it's happening. If it's in your stomach, if you're in your heart, in your whatever flow, just watch, and just when you're becoming observer, you will see that it's so slowly disappearing. It's like the sensation in your body is disappearing, and therefore your emotions are disappearing, and therefore your thoughts disappearing, and therefore the fear or whatever is happening is disappearing as well. And also, then you really can connect with who you truly are, with your soul. So this was like the easiest method, I would say, to do it. Just become observer. And also observer, like, who is actually speaking now? Like I told you, where you are, constantly observing. Are you in future, past, you are here or here? This is like also very important to see, because when you realize that you are in future, you're worrying what's going to happen next month, then you can like being more mindful and bring yourself, I'm cooking soup now, I am talking with my wife, I am actually doing some stuff. So you're bringing yourself back here, the same when you actually overthinking what's happened in the past. You can again pulling yourself again back, and I'm here in present. But also watch your inner child. We all have it. So sometimes when, of course, we all have kind of different traumas, different trap emotions, different situation in life. So for example, if you see that there's some, again, fears or something, you walk into the town and there's something happening, anxiety, anxious emotion or whatever, watch who is talking, because maybe this 3 years old, whatever, Karolina, Steve, whatever, is screaming. And just watch him, why he's screaming. Maybe he's just needing attention, needing love. And this is the Steve who was maybe hard when he was child. And just be with him. Don't let him to overcome you, because then you becoming the drama, becoming him. Just again, be observer. Watch him like a child smile. You're not gonna become this child. Just observe him. Just truly observe him, and it's like, okay. And I had, when I was doing my self-healing journey, I had some moments like this little Karolina was screaming like, oh my gosh, she had tantrum, and it was like for 3 days, so many stuff was bubbling on the surface, and I was watching her for 3 days. And then the third day, she was like calming down, and I honestly, in my mind, I need, of course, I need to her level, and said, I'm here, you are now safe, just let's hug. And you know what, everything just disappeared. Because it's very important to nurture what is happening in you. This inner child, it was just this Karolina who was hard when she was 3, 4, 5, and she was not secure and she needed love. So just by observing and then just basically finding the right moment and just connecting with her and said, you are now safe, I'm here. You are loved, I love you, and I'm here. And you will see that things are just really softening, like really going, they are just released.
You know what, Karolina, but learning to be the observer for myself was probably one of the most powerful things that I've done over the last maybe 18 months or so. And that was from Eckhart Tolle reading The Power of Now. And the last experience I had of this was actually yesterday. It was yesterday evening. I was on a plane from Chamonix to Budapest, where I am now. And I had to check in my hand luggage, which has like my laptop, my drone, my iPad, my GoPro, my Osmo, like all of probably 5 grand's worth of kit just in my hand luggage. And when we got to the plane, there was no space in the baggage holds, and I was one of the last people on the plane. So I had to give my hand luggage to get checked in the hold underneath. And I was sitting there, and I thought afterwards, like, I just remembered to get the batteries out, because apparently batteries, there's a chance they can explode if they get too cold. So I was like, oh, I need to take the batteries out. But then I'd left my laptop and all my other stuff in there. And I was sitting on the plane, and I suddenly thought, why didn't I just take my sleeve with my laptop and iPad out of my bag and just hold it, instead of checking it into the hold where maybe it would get stolen by a baggage handler, or maybe the laptop battery would go bang and blow up my laptop. And then I was like, but if I lose my laptop, like all of my work, my business, like everything that I do, I run my life through that thing. If my Mac goes bang, like what am I going to do? And I suddenly stopped, and I was like, I just stopped and listened and just watched, observed my ego, future pacing, living in the future. What happens if this? What if this? What if this? Right? And suddenly thought, oh, bless you, Dan. Like, how realistically, in the grand scheme of my life, how important is it if my laptop or my iPad or whatever goes missing? Am I going to sort it out? Yes, I am. So why am I sitting here worrying about it, putting myself in an emotional state which is in no way productive? And I just sat there and I was like, right, be present. Just I looked around the plane, looked at where I was, looked at what the people were doing, watched my body, how do I feel? And instantly, like you say, it just dissolves. Like the fear and the worry and the anxiety. As soon as you observe it and you just let it be, it just flows and disappears. So yeah, I mean, hearing you talk about that as well, it's often the simplest little things that can be so powerful in helping us get out of our own way. And I just think, like, hearing your journey, hearing the path that you've gone down, and coming to all of these realizations, and then giving back and helping people and tying that into your journey, like I can't wait to see how this is going to pan out for you, because we met for the first time. You mentioned the Black Retreat in the Dominican Republic. You taught me salsa, didn't you? You taught me salsa in the Dominican. I don't think I was that good. Did I step on your feet a couple of times?
No. You were brilliant. I hope you practice. Yeah, I hope you practice.
I would love to say, actually, one thing I have practiced is I've been learning Polish. So next time I talk,
well, I see you sometimes. You're going to Warsaw.
Yeah, I'm not that good yet, but when I get there, we'll have a chat at some point. We'll do like a challenge. I'll talk to you in Polish in 3 months or something like that.
I'm gonna test you. Yeah, next time.
All right, deal.
I'm gonna speak to you Polish, basically. That's it.
Say that again.
I'm gonna speak to you in Polish. That's it. Just Polish. Yeah.
I'm on board with this. Let's do a challenge. 3 months. 3 months. We'll have a conversation in Polish, or we'll do like a coaching call or something, but only in Polish.
Yeah, just coaching in Polish. That's it.
Amazing.
Actually, what you should do is you should do a healing session with Dan in Polish.
Yes.
Right. So to get the full benefit, he's got to learn the language.
Yes.
And not only learn the language, but also learn like the spiritual language in Polish. That's going to be a different level, isn't it?
Yeah. You got to learn the specialty, and then you can learn marketing.
Yeah.
You will really have to tune into me, yeah? So like body language, the voice, the vibration, the energy, you really have to like tune into that, yeah?
Done. I'm in. Right, I'm up for this. So there was no question in there. I was just telling you that I've learned Polish or learning Polish. Steve,
Awesome.
any final thoughts for Karolina, buddy?
No, I really appreciate your time, your openness, especially. I know that, what you've shared and your journey is just going to inspire people. And I hope that they take the time to listen to what you have to say, because there's so many great nuggets of information in there, how people can just move through those barriers, and that they really just don't need to put the energy into it that we quite often do. That you can focus on the positive, you can focus on moving beyond instead of the past or the future. And just, again, thank you for your time and your perspective. Really appreciate what you've shared with us today.
Definitely. Yeah. And second that, Karolina, thank you so much. Steve, as always, buddy, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We will see you next week on the Steve and Dan Show. But yeah, it's been a pleasure, Karolina. I can't wait to see you next. Are you coming to London Momentum Day?
No, I'm in Cyprus at this moment, so no.
Poor thing in Cyprus.
Next time, yeah. I'm enjoying sunshine at this moment, yeah.
Deal. Right, awesome, good stuff. Thank you, guys. Have a lovely day, afternoon, evening.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye for now.